right. Jingles is good people, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. All right, I think we're ready. This is for... Who asked for this? And Hetman wanted a game in Brandenburg. We'll give this a shot. This is not a ship I have played a lot. I think I've literally played one game in my Brandenburg, and that was it. I played once. I played one game. Now, again, like, Odin... I kind of mocked Odin a little bit, but if you made me choose between Odin and Brandenburg for ranked, I'd probably pick Odin. Because Odin brings the Hydro. Brandenburg doesn't. So you're more dependent on your team here for spotting. Whereas Odin, in a pinch, can push and spot somebody in smoke and do a little bit of her own spotting, right? With his new apartment. Did he move? I haven't watched Mingles in a while. Did he move out of his old place to someplace new? I assume he's still in Portsmouth. No idea, Celtic. Haven't even looked at it. When it comes to live, I'll do a first look video and we'll talk about it. At least I've got some cruisers to bully. I'm looking at you, Gabe. Jingles has a Twitch account. He does not, to my knowledge, stream, but he does have a Twitch account. Good for him, Hetman. Paying your own mortgage is such a better gig than paying someone else's. Paying your own mortgage is such a better gig than paying someone else's. We're probably... I'm trying to think. Are we only 5 years in? We're 5 years in. Is that right? No. 6 years in. I'm 6 years in. So I think we pay this house off in about 9 years. We refinanced ours a number of years ago on a 15-year, so we could pay it off. So yeah, 9 years sounds right on this house left, and that's assuming that we don't throw more money at it. That's just what the scheduled end of mortgage is for. When we were refinancing, they offered me a 15-year versus a 30-year, and we had no intention of moving, so the 15-year made more sense. And I ran the numbers, and the 15-year saved me like $300,000. And I was like, well, this is kind of a no-brainer, right? Like, yikes. Well, we're all going to A, apparently, so let's go crush things and stuff. Yeah, Mecklenburg is the tier 10 version of this with the quad turrets, right? Isn't that what Mecklenburg is? I gotta go look. I think we'll get her next patch to do first looks on. I need to go check her out. I could actually probably do one this weekend on PTO on public test. The problem is every time I do that, like the next day they change the ship. So at this point, I'm just gonna wait for them to announce whatever changes are coming with the patch. Let them patch it, add it to the game, and then I'll do add it to the live server for testing, and then I'll do a first look video. What I remember about my first game in Brandenburg was I ended up sitting in somebody's smoke on low health while my secondaries continued to work over an opposing target. I remember that very clearly. Well, Canadian real estate varies widely, right? Like when we lived in Washington, this was 2006, 2007. My wife and I were looking at townhomes, and one of the reasons that we left DC, right? How is he spotted? One of the reasons we left DC was because of the cost of real estate. I knew what I could buy a house for here in Texas, at least in Houston, and I knew what, and of course, and we were looking at townhomes, right? 3-bedroom, 2,200 square foot townhomes in DC that were like twice that. And I found that offensive. I was like, I refuse to pay this much money for this little house. Good job, Amalfi, you dummy. Next week, Hetman. Next week. Love how my Amalfi went and got his face blown off. Like, good job. Nah, I missed that. I missed my chance to turn in right there. Yeah, see, Texas is interesting because we don't have state income tax, so they make up everything with property taxes. So property taxes here tend to be a little higher, but I honestly have never minded much. So I'm actually on board with it. I'm like, yep, this is fine. Our Seattle seems determined to find a way to get himself killed. Ooh. Ooh, did I lead him right? Am I going to get Gabe? Am I going to get Gabe? I'm going to hit Gabe, but I'm not going to kill him. I think it's time that I'm going to... You know what, guys? We're going to YOLO. Let's do this. We're going to get up here and crush these guys from astern. We're going to force them out from behind their dinky little island here. It's going to be glorious. Check it out. None of them have torpedoes. I have torpedoes on both sides of my ship. Plus my secondaries. Should be fun. Seattle needs to leave. Like, he's getting his face smashed in. What are you doing, dummy? Yeah. Like, come on, genius. Hi, Riga. Hi, Riga. How you doing, buddy? Are we having fun?
Now, this is a force to be reckoned with.
Borodino's not going to care for me very much either. Ruprecht did a good job on that one. What happened to the rest of my team? Why are they all dead? It's frustrating.
Much better.
What is our Kitakazi doing? He's apparently had a massive copious quantities of fail this game too, hasn't he?
Well, lucky shot.
Yeah, I'm dead. Fun game. Well, it isn't just the Missouri. Our Amalfi, who died first by getting wiped out in front of our entire team, is like, our Missouri's an idiot. I'm like, dude, I don't think you have room to talk. Like, sir, this is a Wendy's. What? I love this guy. He's like, everybody went to A, so I went to B on my own. I was like, oh, so you were going to take on the entire enemy team by yourself. How'd that work out for you? Still waiting. This dude cracks me up. Well, we couldn't see. If you can't see anybody at the cap your entire team is at, guess where the rest of the enemy team is? At the other two caps. Whoa. Whoa. I know. Shocking. It's just shocking. No, J-Red, we were actually having that conversation a few weeks ago, and I think that's actually a reasonable thing. A few weeks ago, we were talking about how to fix ranked, right? Because the thing is, the Save a Star system has been around so long, not many people remember what it was like beforehand, which as soon as a ship died on your team, everybody else basically just quit. They were like, oh, game's over. We don't care. We lose, right? And so now... Oh, good job, Kidda. That game's over. Now, with Save a Star, at least people will continue to fight even when they're down. Okay, I can live with that. However, you find we were talking about this a few weeks ago, right? What I find is that it's stupid for you to play your guts out and get a kill and do a lot of things and all this stuff and get shafted and lose by like 2 XP and not be able to save your star. So I think we've hit a point, and to kind of circle back around to your point, right, where saving your star should be predicated on your individual base XP. If you as an individual player can overcome some minimum threshold of base XP, I don't know what that number is. Like, Wargaming would have to tell us what that number is. 600, 800, I don't know what it is. But if you can overcome that number of base XP in a loss, you won't lose a star. Basically telling, showing, demonstrating, look, I showed up to play, I got a kill, I lived for a while, whatever you did, maybe I got 2 caps before dying, right? And so then, you contributed, right? So like here, you can see the Ruprecht and I, let's, again, if we assume that arbitrary 800 threshold, the Ruprecht and I would have saved our stars. And of course, our genius cruisers, which got themselves slaughtered very quickly for no gain, would not have, which is honestly reasonable in my opinion. Because he and I pushed up, we're the only ones on our team with kills. We're the only ones on our team who actually like accomplished something, right? Yes, no, yeah, exactly, NLM. That's the idea. The idea being that regardless of where you place on your team, if you cross some minimum threshold of base XP, you can retain your star. And I think that's reasonable. I feel like Wargaming would have to do some tweaking, right, to figure out what that number should be. And I feel like it should be different by league. I feel like this is another way you can control how fast people move up the leagues, right? Let's say you decided for Bronze League that number is 600 XP. If you make 600 XP or better in a loss, you can retain your star. But let's say in Silver League, it gets a little more difficult. Now you have to meet 750, 800, whatever it is. And then in Gold, it's 1,000. Like, I don't know. I'm throwing numbers at a wall. But the point is, somebody at Wargaming would have to do some statistical analysis to decide whatever those numbers need to be in each league. But in each league, there is a number that even in a loss, if you pass, you retain your star. I like that idea. And I don't know that they would ever consider it, but I feel like it's worth